when seeing isn't believing. We're going to talk about a world right now where technology is making it so hard to trust our own senses. A world where seeing and hearing, well, it's just not enough anymore. So let me ask you something. What if your ears could be hacked? Think about it. You get this frantic phone call, and the voice on the other end, it's your kid, or maybe your parent. They're in serious trouble. They need money, and they need it right now. The voice sounds perfect. The panic feels so real, but it's not. It's a complete lie. Your own ears have just been turned against you. And look, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. This is happening today. Scammers are using AI to clone voices, and it's terrifyingly effective. You might have heard of the grandparent scam. Well, this is that, but supercharged with AI. All they need is just a few seconds of audio, maybe from a video you posted on social media, and just like that, they can create a perfect clone of a voice, turning that personal connection into a weapon. Okay, so this is a whole new kind of scam. We're not just talking about an upgrade to the old tricks. This is a totally different ballgame in digital crime. Let's really dig into the scale of this threat. And the numbers here are just, well, they're alarming. From 2024 to 2025, there was this dramatic surge in AI voice phishing and even real-time deepfake scams. And that's the scary part, right? It's not just a recording anymore. We're talking about live video calls that are fake. Things escalated so fast that it became crystal clear our laws just weren't ready for this. So, in response to this whole crisis, one state is basically drawing a line in the sand. Wisconsin is stepping up, proposing some new laws that could totally change how we fight back against deepfake crime.
See, before, the rules around deepfakes were pretty limited. They really only covered things like messing with elections or creating, those awful non-consensual images. But this new law in Wisconsin, it blows that wide open. It expands the rules to cover exactly what we've been talking about: financial fraud and identity theft.
It's called the Digital Identity Protection Act, and it's a huge deal. This isn't just a small update, it's a total rethinking of the entire problem. It marks this significant shift away from punishing someone after they've scammed you and toward targeting the act of faking someone's identity in the first place. And this gets us to the really clever part of this whole thing. It's all about the intent. The focus isn't on the AI technology itself, but on what you intended to do with it. So they've created this new legal term, an AI-driven deceptive act. And this is the game changer. What it means is that just using AI to imitate another person with the intent to trick someone, that act all by itself is now a felony. So how does this actually work? Well, first, prosecutors just have to prove you meant to deceive someone. That's it. Second, it's a felony charge right out of the gate, a serious crime. And third, and this is absolutely crucial, no harm needs to be done. A charge can be filed even if the scam totally fails and nobody loses a dime. The attempt is now the crime. This really raises the stakes for these scammers. But, the damage here goes way beyond just losing money. It's much deeper than that. This stuff strikes at the very foundation of how we see the world, and it leads to this really dangerous psychological effect called the liar's dividend. Yeah, the liar's dividend. Here's what it is. When the very existence of deepfakes allows bad actors to just dismiss real incriminating evidence by calling it fake. You see an incriminating video of a politician, they can just say, nope, that's a deepfake. You hear a damning audio recording. Oh, that's just AI. It gives liars a free pass. And this quote just nails it. The greatest harm is not making the fake seem real, but making the real seem fake. Think about that. The real danger isn't that we'll be fooled by a fake. It's that we'll reach a point where we stop believing that anything is real. And this creates a world where anyone can plausibly deny anything. It just completely undermines social trust. If we can't agree on a basic set of facts, on what's real and what isn't, how are we supposed to function as a society? All right, let's bring this home and talk about the quieter cost of all this. It's not just about society as a whole, it's about what this stuff is doing inside our own heads, how it's literally rewiring our brains. I mean, your brain is built to trust what you see and hear. It's a deep evolutionary instinct. For thousands of years, if you heard a twig snap behind you, you didn't stop to wonder if it was real. You reacted. It was a survival tool. Well, deepfakes turn that very instinct into a vulnerability. They basically hack our brains, turning this natural trust into a huge weakness. We're now forced to second-guess the very information our brain is hardwired to accept without question. There's a term to this. It's called cognitive load, and it's basically the amount of mental effort you have to use just to process information. When you're constantly having to question reality, that load increases dramatically. Your brain has to work so much harder just to figure out what's real. And frankly, it's exhausting. And that increased cognitive load, it's not just about feeling tired. It leads to real problems: chronic social anxiety, a widespread distrust of other people, even just having a hard time making decisions. Because how can you decide anything if you can't trust the information you're getting? It's like we're all being forced to carry this heavy mental weight that we were just never built for. So while the law, like the new act in Wisconsin, tries to catch up, we're all left with this really big question. And it's one that goes way beyond politics or technology. In a world of perfect fakes, what do we even choose to believe anymore?